What's up guys, in this video I'll try and build a marketplace on Lovable that everyone is talking about, and I'll show you my alternative to actually building a marketplace, which is Prometora, which I would say is a much better route to take if you are non-technical. I also show you all the other options you can take for building your online marketplace. Let's do it guys. So I signed up on Lovable and then I wanted to test out if I could actually make a marketplace on Lovable, because Lovable, they have a new integration with Shopify, and that is then what they're using for their checkout and their back office if you want to make a kind of a marketplace on Shopify. So I tested it out and I wanted to make a marketplace where you can sell pet devices, pet toys and stuff like that. So it made me this one after a couple of prompts. So it looks kind of nice, and you can then see that there's a checkout now, and that is relatively cool. The thing is just, first of all, I cannot change anything easily. So everything has to happen from the prompt area. And that is a big difference from Prometora that I'll show you in just a second. So if I want to change this H1, for instance, I then have to do it from the prompting area. And similar with everything else, everything has to be changed via the prompting area. Also, I tried to make a marketplace and I failed, because a marketplace is pretty difficult actually. You need a seller area, you need a seller dashboard, you need an area where your buyers and sellers can sign up, you need, some kind of messaging system, you need a create listing area, you need an all listings area. So I didn't manage to build this in Lovable. So even though the front end here does look kind of nice, I very quickly ran into issues that you can't really do on Lovable. At least I didn't manage to. So let me know in the comments if you have another experience. Now on Prometora, which is my Lovable for online stores, you could say, it works a little bit different, but I would say that it's way more flexible to build a marketplace on online store this way. So let me just show you what I mean by that. So first of all, you can see up here that you have the different pages, and you can add whatever page you would want to here. So if you want to add a terms page, you just add that and then you start building it. Secondly, you have both the prompting area over here where you can prompt whatever you want. So if you want to add an FAQ, you can prompt that, and I'll show you in just a second. But you also have the drag and drop area here, right? So if I want to add a hero here, I just drag it in here, and then you see the hero here. And I showed you just before how it works in Lovable. So let me just go back and actually show you that again. So here in Lovable, I cannot click on the text and just change it like that. Everything has to happen from the chat prompting area, which I find super annoying, because of course to change this text, it would be much easier just to click on it and then write something else instead of doing that from the prompting area. So the way that it works in Prometora is, if I want to change this, so let's say I want to build a marketplace for pets, so buy and sell pet toys, like that. So for me, that is much easier than actually doing that down here from the prompting area, but maybe that's just me. Great, and now let's also prompt something, because the prompting on Prometora works just like on Lovable, but whatever you get back from your prompting, that is 100% adjustable by just clicking on it. So that is a big difference, and I would say that makes Prometora way more flexible. So let's try and prompt something. So let's say we wanted to add an FAQ down here. So please add an FAQ for my pet toys marketplace. So, and while we are then waiting for that, you can see up here that it says Airbnb. So let's just change that. So let's call it maybe dogs marketplace. For now, I don't have a logo, so let's not upload anything here right now, but we can add some navigation here, right? So let's just auto generate the navigations here. So we have a front page, of course, all listings, about, and a contact page in the navigation up here. Cool. And while we did this, you can see that we now got the FAQ back here, and it looks like this. So again, everything is adjustable. So if I don't like this up here about our pet toys, so then I just change it to store, like that. So on Lovable again, I would have to actually prompt that change, which is, at least I think, super complicated. And then you can just go through everything and very easily change it if you don't like. And you can see up here that it's the publish changes button here. So I'm just going to publish this now, so it's saved. And then if I click on the preview, you can then see it down here. And by the way, if I don't want to use this font, I can just go to the settings area, which is here, and then I just change the font to maybe a Roboto one. And if we then go back to the preview page, you can see that it now looks like this. So that is already much better, and I would say it looks relatively good. Of course, you will have to go through the text and change whatever you want to change, but you can see how easy it is to make your components, and whatever component you then get back is very easy to adjust by just clicking on it. Great, so now let's also just make the about page and the contact page quick. So let me just do some drag and drop here. So let's do a component from here, maybe this about here. I'm just gonna drag that one here and drop it like this. So we have an about here. I can then change this image easily to something else. Let me do that one because that is an image of me. So I just upload that one and then we have that one there. That doesn't really make much sense, but I think you know what I mean. And I can also just adjust this to our cool marketplace. Okay, let's do that. And I'm just gonna publish that now. Then let's also just adjust the contact page. So again, let me just drag and drop something here. So I'm gonna drop this one here. And let me just say these are our locations. Cool, awesome. And of course, I could also easily change the text color. So let me do red here or that kind of color. Okay, I'm just gonna publish that and let's just see what it looks like. So now we have a very simple marketplace with this beautiful image down here, which of course does not make any sense right now, but let me just show you also the dashboard area here, because on any marketplace you also need an area where all your sellers and buyers can sign up. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and sign up as a seller right now. So I'm just gonna put in my name here and my email, and I'll add a password and then I sign up. Cool. So now I'm in the seller dashboard area. Again, I just want to say, if you wanted to build this on Lovable, that would take a long time because Lovable is mainly for just creating a front end. So you can create a front end here, but to make the whole back office for your marketplace owners, but also for your sellers and buyers, and the create listing page that I'm going to show you in just a minute, and also the messaging area, this one, and my listings area, and so on, that would take you a long time on Lovable. Actually, it will probably not be possible at all, I would say. Anyway, so here I'm back in the seller dashboard area and I can then create a listing here. So let's just do that. But before I do that, I just want to first adjust what I actually want to ask for in my listing area here. So you can see here I have a listing type here. We're just going to have one type of listing here. And basically I just want to ask for the title, description and price. And let's also add a custom field here, which could be the type of dogs that this toy fits for. Let's say that, and the type of dog. Okay, and so the type here will then be maybe a multi-select, and then I add different kinds of dogs here. So right now I don't actually know that much about dogs, so I'm just gonna write dog type. Okay, got it. And we save that. That is already saved. Cool. So now if I go back to the create listing area and I just refresh, you can see that it's being asked for down here, right? So I'm just gonna make a listing now. So selling a dog bracelet, and let's also write here, selling a dog bracelet not used at all. Okay, cool. The price, let's just do $20, and this fits for these types of dogs. I'm just going to select an image. So that is the dog bracelet that I'm selling, and I'm just going to be publishing this immediately. So now if we then go to the all listings page, this one, you can see that my listing is now here, and if I click on it, I can then buy this one. So beautiful. So that is how easy it is to basically set up a listing, well, create a whole marketplace in Prometora. And again, this is not possible in Lovable. Great, so now that we went through Lovable and Prometora for building an online store, now let's just have a look at some of the other options out there as well. So I made this table here, but let me just show you first some of the other options. So of course, if you are technical, you can go for my speed build marketplace boilerplate, you can basically go to speedbuildmarketplace.com and check out the boilerplate there. That is probably the best solution if you are technical. So if you know how to code, that is a good solution for you. Then if you want to basically go on the journey for becoming an AI marketplace developer, so learning how to code, I also have a course that will basically teach you everything about coding, so everything about front-end, back-end, development, and so on. So that is something that will take some time. So if you are that type that really want to maybe go from being a non-coder, so non-technical, to becoming a technical person, this is an option for you then. If you like WordPress, then you can also go for the Docan templates. They have a couple of templates for building a marketplace. Then you are in the WordPress kind of environment. So let me just go through all of them here, right? So we already had a look at Lovable. Prometora, I showed you that one. So that one is more for the complex sites like a marketplace. So that one has the Lovable kind of prompting, but also drag and drop capabilities, and everything is editable as I showed you. So you can easily click on a text and then edit it that way. That is so much simpler, and it comes with all these system pages that you will need anyway for any marketplace that you're building. So that is the go-to solution if you are non-technical and if you want to launch a marketplace very fast. Boilerplate, I showed you that one. That is if you are technical. The coding course, that is if you want to basically take the journey into becoming a AI marketplace developer, then you should probably do that. That will take some time though, as I showed you before. Then there are all these no-code platforms like ShareTribe, Software, Bubble. Then if you like the WordPress templates, you can also go for the Docan WordPress templates. They are a little bit outdated in UX, I would say, but that is definitely also an option if you like WordPress. And then of course you can also hire a developer and make that guy make exactly what you want. That will just be very expensive, and it will also be quite slow. So expect at least 3 to 6 months if you go that route. That is it for this one, guys. I hope that you liked it, and remember, whatever route you decide to take for building your marketplace, then please just write me. I love getting your emails, and I'm happy to jump on a quick call to help you guys out. And again, so Prometora is for sure the fastest way to get your marketplace up and running, so please go ahead and test that one out. Remember also to subscribe to this channel if you liked the content, and until next time, see you. Bye bye. Ciao.